Hi everyone, my name's Jade. I work in the Curtin Go Global team, and in this session we will go through some of the opportunities and adventures available for you during your time at Curtin. Going to university is not just about studying to us. We think it should be full of adventures and experiences while you are working towards completing your degree. There are so many options available, from a semester exchange, short-term programs like summer or winter schools, internships, or work-integrated learning programs. You can study up to 1/3 of your degree overseas, which means you can actually do more than one experience if your study plan allows. Curtin also has branch campuses in Singapore, Malaysia, Mauritius and Dubai that are available for inter-campus exchange. I have Connor and Talia here with me today to have a chat about their incredible experiences abroad. And I'll also be with Charlotte in the online chat room to answer any questions you may have after this session. So Connor and Talia, let's get started. Would you just be able to introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about your experience?
Sure. Well, I'm Connor. I'm a 5th year urban and regional planning student. I like to explain urban planning. It's kind of like a mix between SimCity and Animal Crossing. So I work with people, but also I work with the surroundings of those people, but not animal villages though, which is sad. But so yeah, my exchange experience, just a quick little summary. I went on exchange into Hong Kong while doing some short little study courses and units in Timor-Leste, Mongolia, and also I did an internship in Shanghai.
Nice.
Cool.
Talia?
Hi, I'm Talia. So I am 20 years old and in my 3rd year studying marketing and PR at Curtin. I recently went on exchange to Canada. So I was based just about 10 minutes out of Niagara Falls. So I'd go to Toronto, go to New York, I'd traveled all of Canada and America.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Would you be able to tell us about when you decided that you wanted to go on a global experience?
Sure. So I've always wanted to go on exchange, especially Hong Kong when I was growing up. I've always been interested in Hong Kong films, just like movies from Wong Kar-wai, very famous Hong Kong director, and the whole city. But I think the first week of uni, I was very interested in the idea of like exchange. So I think after one of my first classes, I asked some of my lecturers. They told me to check out some of the experiences I have at Curtin, such as the weekly lecture about how to go on exchange. I went to one of those, and also one of the weekly things I have on campus every Wednesday where they show all the different experiences you can have at Curtin. So there was one about New Colombo Plan, which is one of the scholarships I decided to sign up for. And from that, then being in touch with, global offices, Go Global, I started learning more about exchange. So that, I guess, really started off things there from my first week of uni. Yeah.
Nice. So straight from the get-go.
Yeah, I was keen.
Nice.
Very
Cool.
keen.
So I was a bit different. So for me, I never really thought exchange was possible for me. I thought you had to have like super, super high grades. And I was like, that's never going to be attainable for me. And then I had a friend who went on exchange and they spoke to me and they're like, you really only need 60s. So I looked into it and a 60s were quite reachable. And then I also spoke to the Go Global committee and they also said, look, if you don't reach 60s and you get like a 58 and 59, you're showing that you're hardworking, you really want to go, we can look into it and see if we can make things happen for you. So yeah, I realised once it was actually quite attainable to get those grades, I really wanted to go.
Nice. So what do you think the best part of your experience was? Like, what was your highlight?
Cool. So for me, I loved the travel. I got to go everywhere. So I went to New York, I went to a festival there. I went and watched NBL games in Toronto and Boston every week. I went snowboarding in Whistler and Banff. I went to French Canada and Montreal. I went everywhere. I went and watched some NBL games and some NRL games in Michigan.
Nice.
So yeah, the travel for me was amazing.
So total travel bug then,
Yeah.
just going every weekend.
Oh yeah, I literally was hardly like on campus. Every weekend I was away to a different state or province. So yeah, I got to see the world while earning points towards my degree. So it was awesome.
Great. And Connor?
Yeah, the same thing, traveling. And I think also comes down to the amazing friendships I made on exchange or any type of international travel I did. So although I'm learning about Hong Kong while exchange, but I'm also learning about other cultures through the people I meet. So become really close friends with people from Iceland, learning about Nordic culture as well from my Finnish friends. Then going to other places while on exchange. So I got to spend 2 weeks in Tokyo during my Chinese New Year, because that's like a 2-week break, how we have, semester breaks here. So I went to Tokyo for during my 2-week break, come back and celebrate Chinese New Year with all my friends that I met there, like my Canadian friends. And then my internship, meeting other people who were in the same experience as me, and then having to go to Seoul or other places with them. So it was really fun, yeah.
Awesome. So many new experiences.
New experiences, a lot of traveling. And
lots of friends
Lots
too,
of friends,
that
yeah.
you're still in contact with now?
Absolutely. So I think they're like, some of my best friends to this day. So we still keep in contact. These are the same type of people that study my degree or something similar. So we're always messaging each other about projects, saying, hey, can you check this over for me? What do you think about this? And for 2 years now, that's been going on and helping each other out through our own little careers that we're doing.
Great. So how did you find, like, with your study experiences, did you find that the teaching was a little bit different? Like, was it a different experience to what you have here at Curtin?
I think it was a different experience, but in a really good way. So I study urban planning. So like I said, I look at how people interact with the environment, whether it be the built environment like cities or the normal environment like the trees and things like that. In Curtin, I'm just learning about suburbia and the city. But when I went to Timor-Leste, I started learning about post-colonial Portuguese in like architecture and living in a recently war-torn country. But then also in Hong Kong, I'm learning about high-density living in a global city. So all these experiences just differ from each other. So I'm learning about how I can use that to my own ability when I'm graduated and learning about different people and their own unique experiences, or try to understand what's so different and how we can, I guess, learn from each experience. From even, I live in a house, like a normal family thing here in Australia, but then when I did my 6-week study tour in Mongolia, I was living in a ger in like a nomadic land with just plain grass and horses and cows. So big experiences, different experiences, but from that I learned so much about different cultures and how, I guess, planning is really important for everyone around the world.
Total cultural immersion.
Absolutely,
there.
yeah.
Awesome. And Talia?
So for me, studying marketing, the actual learning itself was exactly the same. I used the same processes, like everything I've learned all through schooling here in Australia, I could use over there. So that was amazing. But one of the really big differences I noticed was the school pride. So here you kind of come to uni and you study and you go home. Whereas where I was, I lived on campus and everything they do for uni is for the town. So the town loves representing the uni I was at. So I would go to, we held for O Week, we had goat yoga. And so like you'd have goats jump on your back and while you're doing yoga, so the uni holds that for you. I had a grape stomp that I went to. So like there was grapes everywhere and you got to slide in them and make wine. That was really awesome. We had Boogie with the Hoodie, who's like a rapper. He came to uni, that was free. He performed for us. And then we have, like, aside from that, we had we had basketball games every weekend. We had like football games, and being in Canada, ice hockey was huge. So we'd have like ice hockey games, and then we'd have like homecoming. So for the first ice hockey game we had, the whole town would get involved and the whole town would wake up and start celebrating for the game at like 8 a.m. So yeah, the whole town would just represent it. You'd always be wearing their merchandise. So yeah, the huge like school spirit that was involved with it was like amazing.
Yeah, very different to what we have here in Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously that real cultural thing over there. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
It's so cool.
For both of you, did either of you go with any other Curtin students on your experience?
Yeah, so I actually went with my best friend. We got super lucky. We both went to the same uni. We actually were like roommates. So it is possible to go with someone. You don't have to go alone if you are nervous to go on your own. Even if you can't get into the same uni, go to the same state, the same country. Like you can go visit them all the time. So.
And did you study the same course?
No, so we did a completely different course. But yeah, we matched up our timetables and it was actually super easy to look into.
So did you ever feel homesick or anything like that when you were?
So I had never actually travelled before, so I was really nervous to go and I was really nervous I would get homesick. So when I was with my friend, I felt completely fine. I knew we were in it together and yeah, it was really comforting having her with me.
Great. And Connor?
I did a bit of traveling with my family before, but nothing too, I guess, to the point where I'd be horse riding in Mongolia. not that extreme. But so I had a bit of traveling, but with your question, I went with a couple of Curtin students, which was very fun. For exchange, I went with people, or a group of guys that were studying the same course as me, living in the same apartment. So 3 of us, including me, in a tiny, dense Hong Kong apartment was quite an experience. I'll never forget that. But and not staying on campus because we thought it would be cool staying out of campus and living the life of just Hong Kong residents instead of exchange students. But both things are fun either way. And on my study trips, I would go with other planning students, but also students that were studying different courses than me. So maybe some architects, construction management, or in Mongolia's case, maybe some art students. So I meet a lot of uni students from Curtin and I don't know what they study, but we learn how all our courses can come together and we can finalize and make this beautiful product in the end. So
connecting in a totally different way.
yeah, and it's great seeing that and how I guess in the future how we can all work together in our different degrees. So that was really cool, seeing other students that didn't do urban planning.
Yeah, great. Would you be able to talk a little bit more about your experience when you were in China and Chinese New Year? And
yeah, so I was able to do a lot of different cultural, I guess, immersions to all my traveling at Curtin. So I remember in Hong Kong, so while I did leave for Chinese New Year, I came back in time to do one of the traditional Chinese New Year ceremonies they have in Hong Kong. So my Canadian friends and I, we decided to go this rural Chinese area in Hong Kong, and what we did was we had to throw a mandarin with our little wish for a Chinese New Year wish, to throw it over a tree. So I had to try and belt it over this tree. It took me like maybe 20 tries. It was very hard, but I got there in the end, and I think my wish came true, which is really good.
Oh.
And another cool experience I did was when I was in Mongolia, I went in time for Naadam. So pretty much it's like, you know, Perth Royal Show, where you have things where all the farming communities come together and you do horse racing, you do archery, and you do a thing where a lot of the traditional Mongolian farmers, they get like eagles onto their hands, and you know, it's like a big sporting event. So I was able to celebrate Naadam in rural Mongolia. I got to see a bunch of small Mongolian children horse race, and that was a really cool experience. So that was, I'll never forget that.
Something not many people would have experienced, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and it was a great experience just to witness, I guess, another country's traditions and be a part of that.
So Talia, you mentioned you went to Banff and Whistler to do like snowboarding.
Really funny, but Banff and Whistler is just all Australians because everyone goes there to do like a ski season. So like you fit right in when you go there. So it was awesome. And yeah, everyone's learning, and I did lessons. I was terrible at the start. But yeah, I picked it up, and now I have a bit of an expensive hobby that I love. So it's so fun. I can't wait to get back to snowboarding again.
Nice.
And I'd also never seen snow before. So the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, so overwhelmed. And like, I was like a little kid making snowmans all the time. And yeah, I didn't realize it actually hurts to fall on. It's not like the movies, it's not soft and fun. But yeah, you pick it up and it's awesome. But
yeah, great. So for both of your experiences, did you feel that you have any tips or tricks for helping students actually go on a global experience for the future?
Yeah, so one of my biggest recommendations is go to the Go Global information sessions. They're so helpful, and you learn, like, meet so many people who are in the same boat as you. They're all, like, you're probably going to meet people who are going to the same province or state or country as you. So you really meet friends that are going to help you, and like, yeah, people help you so much with what you need to do. And one of my other biggest tips is if you are nervous, you don't have to go alone. You can go with, like, try and organise and go with a friend. So yeah.
Great. And Connor?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about exchange, follow your thoughts and just follow through. Go keep in contact with Go Global or anyone such as your lecturers, ask for advice. And it's not, I think with exchange, it's not something that's something that gets given straight to you. You've got to put in the hard work. You've got to do your research on different universities, the different courses, and how your units can align with other universities' units. So it's a lot of research and a lot of hard work into that, maybe a full day, but that full day of just looking into different courses can then take you to an international trip. So put in a lot of hard work and it's worth it.
And you obviously did a lot of hard work before you left, because you did get a couple of the New Colombo Plan grants as well.
That's right. So I got 2 New Colombo Plans, which is this amazing scholarship that helps you travel around Asia to, I guess, strengthen relationships between the Indo-Pacific region and Australia, which is really good. So I got the long-term New Colombo Plan, which really helped me to live abroad and study overseas. That was for the 6 months in Hong Kong, and also got a short-term mobility scholarship, which I used for Mongolia. So yeah, and even with that long-term New Colombo Plan, that also helped fund it for one of my other 2-week study trips in Timor-Leste. So it's money that's going to help you a lot for your travels. So yeah.
Takes a little bit of worry off when you have a little bit more money to play with.
I mean, you've got a lot of money, so you might as well do some more, study trips with it.
Yeah.
And learn more and get more out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So Talia, could you just explain about how you funded your trip?
Yeah, so I did save up some money so I could travel more. But if your grades are the 60, which is quite reachable, you do get something called the OS Help Loan. So it's a hefty fund which you get. And yeah, as long as you are an Australian citizen, you get that, and it goes on your HEX. So you do have to pay it back, but it goes on your HEX. So it's quite, you don't even realise it's coming out of your account one day. And because you're going on exchange, you just pay the same HEX fees you would pay as you were here. You don't have to fork out 10 grand for your tuition in Canada or anything. So yeah, and you really only need 1 or 2 grand to do it if you get the OS help loan. So you don't have to save up thousands and thousands of dollars to do it.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your internship that you had?
Yeah, so it was, again, different from going exchange or then going on a 2-week to 6-week study tour. So I think it was my first ever big experience of, being in office. So I did 3 months in Shanghai. So it was great because I was with other Curtin University students, and I was in an office which focused on rural China, a lot of architecture, like landscape planning in Shanghai. So through that, I got to go on other little mini trips around rural China, like the Anhui region. And from that, I had to restore traditional Ming Dynasty buildings in China, which was really cool. And it was hands-on doing traditional woodworking methods and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Connor and Talia, for joining us today. It was really great hearing about your experiences for your Curtin degree. So if anyone wants to keep up to date with any new information and new leads happening, just go to our website and you can keep up to date with everything. We really hope you enjoyed this session, and we hope to see you on campus soon.